Slow is the vaguest ticket you'll ever get. In this lesson we turn slow into a number. You'll learn to separate saturation from latency, to read the performance counters Task Manager hides, and to capture a real trace with the Windows Performance Recorder so you can point at the exact stack that's eating the machine. First principle: slow is a symptom, never a cause. Your job is to turn it into a number. Which resource is constrained, and is it saturation or latency? Saturation means the resource is maxed out. Latency means it's idle but answering slowly. These have completely opposite fixes. A disk that's only 5% busy but takes 40 milliseconds per I/O will make a machine feel awful while every dashboard looks green. For each resource, ask 2 questions, not one: how busy is it, and how slow is each operation? For CPU, look at usage but also queue length and time spent in deferred procedure calls. For memory, available megabytes but also the hard page fault rate. For disk, percent busy but also average seconds per transfer. For network, throughput but also round-trip latency. The second number is the one people skip, and it's usually where the answer is. Beyond the famous 4, check the ones people forget. The GPU can stall the desktop compositor. Handle and thread leaks only reveal themselves when you trend a process over hours. And lock contention can pin a core at 100% while doing no useful work at all. If a process is steadily climbing in handles across an afternoon, that's a leak, and you'll only catch it by watching the trend, not a single snapshot. Performance Monitor exposes the diagnostic counters Task Manager hides. Use getCounter to sample them once a second. Memory pressure shows up as hard page faults, pages read back from disk, not as low available megabytes alone. And a processor queue length that stays above 0 means threads are waiting for a core. That's contention, not a raw CPU shortage. Always sample over time, never trust a single instant. Utilization tells you something is busy. A trace tells you what and why. The Windows Performance Recorder, WPR, drives event tracing for Windows to capture sampled CPU call stacks, context switches, and disk I/O over time. The workflow is simple: WPR-start CPU-start disk I/O, reproduce the slow operation, then WPR-stop to an ETL file. That ETL is your evidence. Open that ETL in the Windows Performance Analyzer, WPA. In the CPU usage sampled graph, expand by process and then by stack to find the hot stack, the call path consuming the most samples. That single view often names the culprit module directly. But don't stop at the stack, read the thread states next, because they tell you what kind of problem you actually have. In WPA, the thread state breakdown is gold. Time in running is genuine CPU work. Time in ready means the thread could run but no core was free for it, that's contention or a priority problem. Time in waiting means it's blocked on I/O or a lock. So a thread that's mostly ready is a scheduling problem, not a CPU capacity problem, and that's a completely different fix. This is how you avoid throwing more cores at a contention bug. Recap. Slow is a symptom, turn it into a measured constraint and classify it as saturation, latency, or contention. Use getCounter for the counters Task Manager hides, especially hard page faults and processor queue length. Capture a real trace with WPR and find the hot stack and thread state in WPA. Your task: reproduce a slow scenario, sample 30 seconds of counters, capture a WPR trace, and write a 2-paragraph finding naming the constrained resource, its class, and the responsible module. On to crash analysis next.